Okay, we are getting started with our program this evening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to those of you who are watching from Zoom, as well as the ones watching from Facebook Live. So, such a pleasure to have you join us this evening for a program that I'm really excited about. It's through Dr. Arifa Javed. She's a filmmaker and sociologist. I've seen a film that she's done in the past. Maybe has it been 3 years ago, Dr. Javed?
Yes.
Or so. And it was a great film, very enlightening and educational. It embraces the Novi Public Library's motto of inspire, inform, and include. And I welcome you again. You have another film that you're going to show us. Welcome. Hello.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So the film is The Season in the Mist, a story of Sikhs in America. And it was created right here in Michigan, and you are the one responsible. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so let me turn things over to you. You will do the introduction as you see fit and then introduce the film. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Yes, as you said, this is my second film. And being a sociologist and an educator, I would like to introduce different cultures to the people of America. And since I am from that area, I grew up there for my initial years, and I thought I would educate more about that community. So there's a story behind each film, and the story behind why I made this film is we all remember 9/11. It has been over 2 decades. And after 9/11, that was the first time American society was confronted with the situation we were in, and they did not know who these people were who targeted the Twin Towers. Yes, we knew the name, but as people who they were culturally. So at that time, anybody with a turban or a beard was supposed to be the relative of that culprit. And as a result, one of the first few hate crimes were committed against this community, which is the Sikhs. For those of you who don't know Sikhs are an independent religion followers, Sikhism. And this religion comes from the northern part of India, Punjab. And it's a monotheistic religion. And it's a part of their religion that they grow beards and grow hair, especially men have long hair. And they tie them in a bun and then wear turbans. So when 9/11 happened, the photo of the culprit, Osama, that was being shown, he had long beard and turban. So this community became a target for hate crime. And that's when I realized that I need to educate Americans so that they differentiate between who Sikhs are and who the other religion is. See, even if you want to hate somebody, you should know who the right target should be. That doesn't mean I'm diverting your attention to the other group. Please, no. But that's when I figured out that I will educate American society about these people, and that's what led me to make this film. Now, this is a minority of the minorities. If you ask me, they're about 3% Asians. And of a 3%, it's a small percentage Indians. And within India, they are 3%. So it's a very small community, and most people don't know them. So this talks about their religion, culture, and their contributions to the mainstream American society, who they are as people, what they believe in, and what they bring to the American society. So without giving away much, I'm going to hold myself and let you watch the film, and then I'll take the question and answers.
Yes, we will take questions and answers afterward. If you are watching from Facebook, you can type your questions or comments. I am monitoring there as well. Thank you.
Let's hear it for the Salem Varsity Poem and Dance Team, the Rockettes.
Has anyone ever told you you guys are awesome? Thank you, Rockettes.
We, the people of the United States, has been an evolving and broadening concept since the founding of this country. This nation of immigrants has grown to include more and diverse religions, cultures, races, and nationalities, especially after immigration restrictions were loosened in the 1960s. All of these groups bring special values and traditions to enrich the American social fabric. And at one time or another, they are all subjected to the unfortunate backlash of misunderstanding and intolerance. One immigrant group that presents a stark example are Sikhs. Four days after the infamous attacks of 9/11, Babir Singh Sadi, a 49-year-old Sikh, is shot and killed outside the gas station he owned by Frank Silva Roque. When police approach to arrest him, Roque says, "I'm a patriot and an American. I'm a damn American." Sukhpal Singh, brother of Babir Singh Sadi, who was the first Sikh murdered following 9/11, is shot while driving his cab. May 24, 2007, Queens, New York. A 15-year-old student has his hair forcibly cut by an older student at his high school. And in 2012, in a shocking act of deadly violence at a place of worship, a gunman opened fire at a Sikh Gurudwara in Wisconsin, killing 6 people. There have been other incidents in Texas, New York, California, and elsewhere. In 2016, the FBI's annual report on hate crimes included Sikhs for the first time, according to the Sikh Coalition. In the months following the attacks of 9/11, more than 300 incidences of hate crimes against Sikhs were reported. A religious minority from India who have been present in America for over 125 years, yet remain largely misunderstood by the average American.
Just that this is, it's a judicial ceremony. So what you'll have is you'll have a federal judge coming here to swear everybody in. So it really is actually a special session of court. It's just taking place in Southfield instead of the federal court downtown. And basically, this is a nation of immigrants. It is the culmination of the legal immigration process. This is it. This is the final step of your immigration journey, your journey to coming to this country and to becoming Americans. For centuries, people from all over the world have been coming to this country. For all types of reasons, this country remains a magnet for people who want to come here and contribute their ideas, their skills, their talents to make this country a better place. And you know what? Just because you're becoming American citizens today, that does not mean that you have to give up your heritage or your culture. As a matter of fact, we celebrate different cultures and heritages. You do not have to give up your roots. The important thing, and all we ask of you, is that you be loyal to this country. Congratulations, and may the United States provide you with peace, opportunity, and security. God bless you and all your families, and God bless the United States. Thank you.
Good morning. All rise. Hear ye, the special session of the Eastern District Court of Michigan is now in session. The Honorable Mark A. Randon presiding.
It takes courage to leave your home country and come to the United States, but I can tell you that America rewards the courageous. And if anyone doubts that America is the greatest country in the world, they need only look around this room as I do, and see the beautiful array of diversity, both physical and cultural. I am so happy for all of you today, as I am for my country, which will grow yet stronger as you become United States citizens. Congratulations.
China, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras, India, Iraq, Jordan, last but not least, Yemen.
Sylvia Rodriguez. Bashar Abdulaziz Al-Alaf. Ravinder Singh Dilip. Have all our new citizens received your certificates? All right, let's give a hand to all of our new citizens.
Since arriving as immigrant laborers in the 19th century, Sikhs have worked as everything from farmers to railroad workers and overcome many challenges faced by all minorities of color, such as immigration quotas and anti-miscegenation laws. Although they have grown and become established, as a community with strong roots and strong cultural identity, the years following September 11 created new challenges.
Even beginning to know the death toll, it constitutes the most devastating series of terrorist attacks in history. And it left the rescue services
Mistaken for Arabs, Muslims, or just targeted as outsiders, Sikhs have been subjected to many alarming instances of discrimination, harassment, and violence.
I was born in a city called Chakwal, which was in India at that time. Now it's in Pakistan. Then I moved to India in 1947. Since 1981, I have been here as a professor in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. So I came as a full professor and still am full professor. I think at least I've been very happy about immigration. I became an immigrant, and after 2-3 years I got tenure, and then I became a US citizen.
I was born in New Delhi, India. So the first 18 years of my life I lived in India, and the next 29 I've lived here. I came to college because my father felt that I would get a better education here than I could in India. I perhaps felt a little out of place for a couple of weeks, but I feel like our parents have equipped us to be fairly adaptable. And then I just felt like I fit right in.
Everybody wants to come to the United States, no doubt, okay? But this is the best country, I think, in the world. In the words of somebody, I think if there is a heaven on earth, it is the United States.
Unquestionably, I'm American. Unquestionably. And I would give my life for this country. That's how I feel, that's how I act, that's how I am. And I can't quite remember the turning point where I stopped considering myself an Indian and became an American, but it was a long time ago. It wasn't recent. And everything that I experience and see and read about the world, I feel very blessed and fortunate to be an American. At the same time, I understand that there's a cultural aspect of my Indian heritage that will always stay as well. And I'm fairly comfortable in both aspects of it, which includes my cultural and spiritual values, as well as my lifestyle choices. And to me, both are in harmony.
Sikh men often wear turbans and have beards, which may lead them to be mistaken for Arabs or Muslims.
My identity, you can see, because of my religion, I wear a turban, I have uncut hair, beard, not too many people knew. So for you to even approach people, to be able to convince them that you are educated and you are normal, you are part of them, there is a challenge. Not everybody doesn't accept you, but there are people who doesn't accept you. So you got to try your luck.
For example, when I'm wearing turban, even children, okay, they think that I'm Aladdin, okay, and they might say, oh, Ali Baba, okay. So instead of getting angry or something like that, I have been having a positive attitude. So if they say Ali Baba, I say, Ali Baba, Ali Baba. Then they dance with me and they feel happy. So I think this is the way to mix with people, because I don't blame them. They don't know who we are. It is their ignorance. Okay? They don't know. But do not be antagonized. Be nice with them, and people are with you. But some people do feel that they might not be treated exactly, probably, the way they want it. And for example, Sikh community has been having a feeling that people do not know who they are. And this has been going on for some time.
Sikhs are followers of Guru Nanak, who started this monotheist faith in the Indian state of Punjab in the 1500s. Today, Sikhism is the fifth largest religion in the world, with about 26 million followers. A Sikh place of worship is called a Gurudwara. Each Gurudwara has langar, a volunteer-funded and operated community kitchen, which serves meals to all visitors daily, irrespective of their religion.
In our religion, once you get baptized, you wear 5 Ks is called. Uncut hair is K, in our language is Ks. You wear the steel bangle, it's the symbol of infinity. The kirpan, it looks like a small dagger, but there's a blade inside, small blade. It should always be under your clothes, and it should be sealed, like you should not be able to pull it out, which nobody wants to. There's no reason. So even mine is locked. I can't pull it. It looks like one, but I can't pull it out. So this kid was wearing something exact, almost same as I'm wearing, Bentley skull, and somebody complained. It came out of his shirt. Normally you always wear it under. Now while playing, it came out, and the principal didn't know anything about Sikhism or the symbols or anything. So he sent the kid home, accusing him that he brought a knife or a weapon to the school. Like it happened, hopefully you know that it happened in Mississippi, I think. The police officer arrested a baptized Sikh, and even the judge didn't know. That was very sad to know. In a country where we have lived, we have served for 100 years now, there are some areas where we are not even known.
The Sikh Center of Pilgrimage is the Golden Temple in Amritsar, India. About 500,000 Sikhs live in the United States today, with the largest populations being concentrated in California and New York. From their humble beginnings as immigrant farmers and laborers, Sikh Americans today are in every profession, from medicine to engineering.
Sometimes there were some little hard times. Like I remember as a kid, there would be some kids who would kind of grab my turban, my hair, and say, "Hey, Mr. Applehead, Mr. Applehead." So, you know, and then, but that's how most kids are. But then I would tell the teacher that, you know, that they're bothering me, and then they would eventually stop.
I think I had some difficulties, especially when my son was going to school, and I knew that people would not understand what this is. So I tried again to make other students as friends.
So even though I was born and raised in the city of Detroit, I had a batka on my hair, so I would tie my hair up every morning and wear a type of turban. So I would go to school, and my identity was marked. And so as soon as I walked in the room in most classes, I remember a lot of kids would take notice. You know, when I walked in the room, you know, everybody kind of looked and said, "What's going on?" I remember some days even when, you know, the teacher would tell the kids, "You can't wear hats in school," but then some kids would say, "Well, how come he's wearing a hat in school?" So I would then tell, you know, the other kids, "Well, this is not a hat, this is my religion." One time I would go into the boys' bathroom, and at that time I was very skinny, I was very fair-skinned. My mom would make me wear some rings to ward off, you know, evil spirits, a little superstition. So here I was with this young, skinny boy, very light-skinned with long hair and jewelry, going into the boys' bathroom. So, "Hey, you can't come in here. Aren't you a girl? You're a boy?" And I said, "No, I am a boy." And so, you know, I would have to fight that struggle again. But I think also the main thing to point is that all these issues that I ever had, it made me stronger.
My American dream was to live the life that I've been living, which is to be involved in the community, to start whatever business I want to start, to be in a society that is democratic, not just in name, but also in action, to experience the cultures of the world. I actually learned more about Indian culture after I moved here than I did living in India. And I think it's the best country in the world. And I feel proud to call myself an American.
And just low, we're just shrugging the shoulders. And switch. So the northern part of India, in a state called Punjab, is where there is a dance form called Bhangra. Now Bhangra originated sort of in the fields, okay? So there's a lot of farms up there, they're farming, they're having a great time harvesting. So if you ever see Bhangra dance, you'll see a lot of the moves are very influenced by the work that they actually do in the field. They actually also use props. You'll see big sticks. So you can think of the sticks as like the shovels or the hose that they're using to sort of till the fields. They have all kinds of other stuff that they use that really just kind of mimics daily life. And if you think about it, how cool is that? You're celebrating what you do for a living, your livelihood, but really making it lively.
This is a quote from Duison. He says, "Religion is the West's most characteristic concept. You could in fact define what the West is in terms of its usage of the term religion. It's a concept around which the West has established its identity." The issue that we've been coming up with and seeing more and more evidence of is that if other cultures don't fit into this identification with religion, they're regarded either as primitive, as strange, or unreasonable. And I've been looking at it from both sides, from the left angle, from the left liberal angle, and from the angle of the kind of religious right, if you like. What we need to do, and what we've seem to have come towards, is this need to problematize phrases such as popular religions, popular religious life, or something like the religion of the people. And the reading that you've been doing should have emphasized the need for this. I was born in India, in Punjab. I was 2.5 when my parents first came from India to the United Kingdom. They settled in the United Kingdom. My father came first. My mother followed a few months later. Went to Coventry University, did a degree in chemistry. So after a few years, I felt that I needed more training, more education. I felt that my scientific training was not enough to get me to think about the world, to think critically about what was happening to my community, to myself. And I decided to move from chemistry to doing a degree in philosophy.
And she said yes, and then her dad came to pick us up, and when I got in the car, he's like, "Who are you?"
He said that?
Yeah, because he didn't know that.
So I thought that the US was becoming a multicultural society, and that's the image that I had, and the desire that I had to come to the US. I thought, it was simply a matter of transitioning from the UK to the USA, and there would be no hiccup in between. We spoke the same language, we'd gone through acculturation before. What could possibly be the problem? When we came after 9/11, it was a completely different scenario. It was like going through another migration. I felt as if we were back 50 years where my parents had first started, explaining who we were, trying to explain the relevance of or the important significance of the turban, and just basic questions regarding identity. So that was a second migration, and in a sense I came to resent that. Certainly in the first 8 or 9 years of living here, and I think my family also kind of resented that as well. The word innocence is really, really interesting, because I came to this country in the week of 9/11, and I came to New York in the week of 9/11, which was an interesting introduction to the country. But if you cast your minds back to 9/11, when it happened, and the first thing that comes across in the media and elsewhere is the inability to comprehend the actual event itself, right? The buildings falling, and the chaos that had kind of taken over. The chaos not just physically in New York and elsewhere, but in the minds of the people of this country as well. Could this approach to civic ignorance have mitigated that? Could it have prepared us better if we were, as a society, more informed about events? And I think still there is an inability to actually comprehend the event. It's kind of taken different trajectories in the form of hate crimes and other things. Obviously, 9/11 was carried out by Osama bin Laden and his accomplices, and they were portrayed in the media as wearing turbans, or at least Osama bin Laden was, and his image was flashed everywhere on the in the newspapers, on TV, and people automatically made the connection that Sikhs wore turbans, and therefore they must be Muslim, and therefore must belong to this particular clique. So that connection was made, and of course that wasn't the first time this kind of connection was made. After, in 1979, 1980, during the Iran hostage crisis, Muslims were attacked in throughout the United States, and again, Sikhs also were perceived as being Muslim because they wore a turban, and that's the initial. It's a misidentification, if you like, of one culture with another, one religion with another, and something that was then taken up by the media and stereotyped.
I think people are very keen to label once they see someone just by their appearance. I mean, I do agree that guys do have to go through many hardships because of the way they look, but a lot of girls also make the decision to wear a dastar, which is our headpiece, and even if you don't wear the dastar and you're a girl, you do have the long hair, which we don't cut, and we do get questions as to why we don't cut our hair, or why we don't do our eyebrows, or why we don't do something different with our hair, why we always have to keep it up. There are a lot of people who criticize because of that. Even if someone just sees my name written on a piece of paper, just because the name seems so foreign, they want to start asking questions like, who are you, where are you from, what do you believe in?
Sikh males are always targeted to be identity-wise with the terrorist group who played a bad role or a very dangerous role in 9/11, or even before also. We kind of live with it, very honestly, and I would not go to areas which I doubt, so I would not go to any and every area. I go to certain areas, and reason is very simple, because if I see that these kind of areas, I would not be, the people are not too much familiar about my religion, they mistake me, I don't go. So on one part, yeah, in a very independent country, in a very advanced country, I have restrictions. And so is with every. Example will be, 2 days ago, the priest were walking from the temple to the park, and they were yelled, Pakis, terrorists, go home. And they were surprised because they are just from India. They said, people are saying that to us, why? And I didn't say anything. So people, yes, even when the cars go, we are working outside, people yell. Even we have wedding ceremonies, sometimes we do the initial ceremony outside. People driving by, we hear people yelling, Pakis go, terrorist, or... So yes, we have a very mistaken identity.
So how long did you wear the pagri?
I wore that up till 2013. So I wore that up till 2013. And then my decision to do it was not because of any kind of pressure. As I told you, I was always very confident in who I was. I never felt discriminated, and even if I did as a child, I think that made me stronger. I think I felt very strong. I felt it gave me so much confidence to speak my mind, to be free. For me, it was just a personal decision because when I would shower, I started noticing that my hair was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And when I actually cut it, now that I do see it's more thicker, then also for me it was just a personal decision.
Schooling for my children, for my son at that time, who was 6 years of age, that was also causing some anxiety with both myself and my wife as well. We didn't know how other children would perceive him.
I'm the only Sikh here, only in school. I have been for my entire school life. So sometimes it's been pretty rough to be the only one to say, you know, but I have my family to support me the whole way through, which is very nice. And now I have my friends who are understanding more, who are, you know, asking questions, not to really say anything bad, but they're curious, and I just tell them, which is very helpful because they ask, are you a Muslim? And I say, no, I'm a Sikh. And they ask, oh, what's that? And I explain it to them, which is really helpful now. I can go through a lot of places and not feel uncomfortable as I did as a little kid.
I would say so one word which people have used, which makes me very sad, is people say, oh, we are not Muslims, or you are not Muslims. Why? What is bad about Muslims? As a US citizen, we are all equal, right? To say I'm not a Muslim, that means Muslims are bad? No. Or I say all Sikhs are good? No, right? That's not the point. The point is people who are living here are not terrorists. They are as proud to be US citizens as anybody else in the country. They are contributing everything, all their efforts to make this country the best in the world.
It wasn't just 9/11, it was after, paradoxically or ironically, after President Obama came to power, things seemed to get much worse in the sense that there was this Tea Party, the effect of the Tea Party and the Republicans pressuring against all types of multiculturalism in the US. So all the gains that had been made in the previous years, educating people about Sikhs, etc., suddenly went out of the window. In 2012, again, hate crimes were increasing. They weren't getting they weren't reducing in number. And this culminated, all of the kind of hate rhetoric, the rising Islamophobia that was in the air.
I at least never faced any problem. Even after 9/11, I was thinking that when I'm moving in Turban, there may not be some problem. Even I remember near my Northville house, I was coming and there were some patriotic people who were raising American flags. I thought there might be any problem, but no, nobody even looked at me even with a different eye.
I've been called an Indian, a Pakistani, a Middle Easterner, a Muslim, probably other areas of the world and names that I can't repeat on camera. So I think that doesn't say anything about me, but says a lot about the person speaking those names and making those assumptions. But that's okay. It doesn't bother me because I think it bothers the other person more for them to speak the things that they do. And it happens not often, but occasionally does, and I'm okay with it.
I am a US citizen, very proud to say that, no doubts about it. By religion, I am a Sikh. That's how God sent me. I don't want to change.
I'm honest about who I am, and to me that's the biggest and most important identity that I have.
What a great film. That was really impactful. I learned a lot. Thank you, Dr. Javed. I really enjoyed watching that. I learned a lot from that. A lot of things that I didn't know. So that was worth it. Let me have you unmute yourself so we can hear you speak. And for those of you who have been watching, if you have any reflection, comments, concerns, expression, please, you can either type your comment in the chat section, or you can actually open up your cameras and your mic. If everyone can, if you want, we can all express what we thought about the film. I know that it was really impactful how it closed, the many names that the one gentleman had been called, and he said, but it's okay. But then it cut to the child's so innocent, the innocent face. You know, it can bring you to tears just thinking about the discrimination that many people are treated for such reasons as turban, a beard. I heard the young lady say she didn't cut her hair or didn't do her eyebrows, and discriminated against a name, things that are just so minor, and we discriminate against that. It's just, we need to really get past it. I see a comment in the section says, does the color of a man's turban have any significance in Sikhism? You need to unmute yourself, please. You're still on mute.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
So the color does not, but normally if it's a festive time, then they will have bright colors. It's a wedding or a holiday or something. And if it's a mourning time, then it'll be black or white.
I saw those nice bright colors. I don't think I'm used to seeing them so bright like that.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other questions or comments? Also, if you are watching from Facebook, I'm monitoring there as well, so you can type it in the comment section. So, Dr. Javed, do you think things are improving, getting worse, or staying the same in terms of discrimination?
See, discrimination is a very deep and qualitative thing as well. So my whole idea is to educate people about the differences. Yes, they are there. But how can you be comfortable around people who are different from you? After all, we are all human. See, the way we grew up, the cultures we bring to this society, we are known to be the most pluralistic nation in the world, which means we not only tolerate, we celebrate diversity. So with that background, we need to broaden our comfort zone and welcome differences as long as we can get along. And you know, diversity makes the social fabric stronger. People bring different strengths, and that contributes to the strength of America.
One thing that did stand, I'm sorry.
But since we are limited in our knowledge about different groups, see, what I want to do through these films is to increase the cultural inquisitiveness. Oh, that person looks different. How is he different? Why is he different? And you know, we should have the confidence to sit down with that person for 5 minutes. Hey, I realize this difference. Tell me something about you, for an educational purpose, rather than most of the time people try to be polite and they walk away with whatever they think about that person. So sometimes we might not be right. And then these wrong perceptions build, and they can build hatred in times like 9/11. If they had known who these people are, then all those people would not have lost their lives due to hate crime. And you know, I also show you typing in the internet. See, with the click of the button, you could find out who Sikhs are, why do they wear turbans. But sometimes people are so much mad on that group that they don't even care to find out, or doubt that they don't know enough about them. Let's find out. So yes, let's educate ourselves about as many cultures as we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have another question. It says, what is the significance of hair and the honor given to hair in Sikhism?
See, Sikhs came as a voice against discrimination in the Indian society. You know, every society you have Reformation movement. So this was a Reformation movement that believes in equality. So turban was an advantage for upper castes, and Sikhs gave that honor to everybody. And since they are a warrior group, they see that keep your natural appearance and retain all your hair. So they do not cut the body hair and they manage them this way. So that's a religious, I would say, requirement. But you will be surprised that a ton of Sikhs have cut their hair. And
then what does that mean if you do cut your hair?
Yeah, you saw that boy. They didn't like it. The older people would say no. But in this fast life, sometimes it's more practical to have short hair. So a lot of Sikhs have done that. But it's a very important religious requirement that they're foregoing. And some of them have done that.
Another comment is, first let me ask this. Is it Sikh or Sikh, or it doesn't matter? I've gone back and forth because I've heard both.
Yeah, it's Sikh. Sikh means a learner.
Sikh.
Yeah.
And I think I heard a few times through the film, people said Sikh. Does it matter?
It's an Indian version of saying Sikh.
Okay. I don't want to be incorrect. Let me go on to this comment. It says, given that Sikhs have been here for over 100 years, what do you attribute the lack of knowledge about this group of people in the country?
It's a minority group. And we talk about ignorance in this country, but I think this is an approach most majorities have when they are in their comfort zone and there's a small minority somewhere. They are not cognizant of it unless they need to. If we had not had an incident like 9/11, people would not even know that Sikhs also live here. That wouldn't have been something taken a note of. So if you have 69% of our population that's white, that's of European descent, that's a majority. So a majority, not just here, majority everywhere, anywhere, tends to be less cognizant of smaller groups. So now when they become so prominent, now people are opening up their eyes and finding out who they are.
Okay, we have another question. It says, what are the relationships of the Sikhs of North India and Hindus of South India? Amicable, hostile, indifferent?
Hindus are not just in South India. India has Hindus as an 80% population from north to south, east to west. So Hindus are not just South Indians, they are everywhere. Now, Sikhs predominantly are in the north in Punjab, and Sikhs are 3% of 1.5 billion people. So 3% is a small percentage, but 1.5 billion people is a huge number. But the concentration is in Punjab, they're spread all over. So yes, recently they've been in the news and there are some legislations that are going against the farmers' interests, and most of the Sikhs are in farming. So those legislations go against their interest and they're not happy about it. So most of the Sikhs converted from Hindu castes. So they still carry their Hindu last name, but they practice Sikhism. And there have been interreligious marriages. If there's a Hindu from Punjab and a Sikh from Punjab, 10, 20 years ago, or I would say more before 1984, there would be intermarriages, but after 1984, Sikhs were more singled out because of what happened in India. I don't know if you know, the Indian Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, was murdered by a Sikh, and that kind of tore Hindus and Sikhs apart.
Mhm. Okay. I noticed, and I see that wearing of the blade.
Uh-huh.
How's that going? Is that allowed? Is not allowed? Is that correct, or it is allowed? Schools, workplace. How are you handling that or getting around it?
I think they have to get a special permission. And this person, the person you saw in the movie, Tej Kiran Singh, he works as a school liaison. So the parents, if they are strictly religious and they want their child to wear, they go declare it and get a special permission from the school.
Do public schools allow that? With
Yes.
just a permission? Really?
I know about Plymouth Canton, they do allow. And the restriction, and it's a symbolic thing, so it has to be really small with all the restrictions. If they go and register, I think that's allowed.
Okay.
But it's not like anybody can wear that and walk into school and he would not have a hard time. No, it's not that easy. You need to get permission for it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? I have a few more minutes before we wrap things up. I'm looking down. I'm also checking Facebook.
Yeah.
Any other remarks you'd like to add, Dr. Javed?
I'm glad these people came out and they had these questions. So there is an explanation in the film towards the end, which the professor from Ann Arbor, the Asian studies professor, he talks about the intellectual explanations, which are, a little dense, but that I tried to bring in all kinds of analysis to make people figure out who they are. And it's not just them. This has happened throughout history for many minorities. And as we educate, maybe there'll be less of a fear or misunderstanding.
Very important. Hoping for that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a little tease, but not a tease because you're not ready yet, but you're going to have another film coming up. We're going to wait until it's going to be into the new year at some point, but just throwing it out there so people can be on the lookout because this was very informative. And if people have the opportunity, is there a chance for them to see the one from last year? Is it published somewhere or no?
Oh, it's
The
on
first
Canopy.
one.
It's on Canopy and most city libraries have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll look into that for sure.
So
Well, thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you for having me. If you put my name in, and the name of the film is Essential Arrival, if they're interested in that, that has a broader canvas of 4 communities from India.
Very good. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing the documentary with us. Really appreciate it. Very educational. Can't wait for the next one. Really exciting. It's going to be a different group of Indians. Is that what you said?
It's
very good. So that's the teaser for people to hold out for until next time. I'll keep you informed. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I hope you had some takeaways and you were informed, inspired, and definitely included. And that's always our goal. So have a good night and thank you.
Thank you.